Hello YouTubers. Today we're going to be talking about this Heng 1/16 scale Walker Bulldog. There is another Walker Bulldog sitting right there, decked out in black. In case anybody wanted to see a tank that was painted black, that's what it looks like. Alright, let's get back to the focus in hand. Did a sweet modification. All in all, this out of the box, this machine is actually quite well. I would give it a 9 out of 10 for all the functions it does and how it crawls. The actual tracks, being how they're plastic, it's pretty amazing that it actually climbs over stuff, even with plastic tracks. Now, eventually I'll probably get some metal tracks, which costs just as much as this tank did, but I'll make another video on the new tracks later, see if it's worth it or not. I see a lot of people buying the metal tracks. It looks more realistic, but all in all, this machine out of the box is great. Now, I did do the modification here, that's why I made this video. I will show you in a second. Is that hatch right there. I actually made hatch for my bullets, my BBs. It's pretty sick. It will hold 2 bags of BBs and will not spill or anything. Tools you'll need to make that hatch, show you how it opens up. This is just a hair tie, just black. I was thinking about painting it green. I don't know, I like it black, gives it contrast. Alright, open up the hatch. And there you go. Which is kind of amazing that as soon as I made this little door here, they had the numbers 3839, which is the model number of this tank. That's kind of cool. And there's the BBs right there. You can I was actually put the bag in there just so it'd be a little tough to get out, but they're not bad to get your hands in there and grab them to load your airsoft gun. So, and you close it up, and then put your little rubber band on, which is not too bad. And there you go. I'll show you what you'll need to do this. You will need some zap goo, a very sharp X-Acto knife with a fresh blade, duct tape. This is Gorilla duct tape. It's probably the best to make your hinges for your door. And then this is for your Dremel tool. This is a cutoff wheel with a 1/16 shaft. And you'll need some paint. This is the paint I used to paint the actual Gorilla tape to blend in with the actual model. This paint here is pretty close, not exactly, but really close to the actual color of the Bulldog. Alright, and some brushes right here. Just get something that's got a really fine point to it. That way you can don't get it all over the tape or whatnot. Anywho's, come back to the hatch. Alright, so now I'm going to take these two tanks off, take the rubber band off, open up the hatch, and I'll show you what I all did. So, first thing we did was actually started with your X-Acto knife right in here, and it's going to take a while. Just be really careful. Start cutting it right in here. Start cutting it right here. You'll have to do like several, maybe even 25 passes before you could actually get it. Then once you get it, you'll actually come through and clear that. There's a little pin right there. Now I didn't realize there was an actual pin right there because I broke it on this side right here. So if you want to be careful, keep that pin on this side, and it will actually won't need that rubber band. It'll actually shut and close right there. So then you take the other side, of course, and then cut right along here. Once you get that done, that's your first step, which is really amazing that they didn't. It looked like they wanted to make a hatch for this model, but looks like they just didn't finish the plans or whatnot. They decided not to go with it, but the actual hatch is empty on the inside. So I looked at that and I was like, wow. So once you do that, there's a little pin right here. Now I thought that was attached to this door right here, as you can see. That's what's holding together. Just be careful not to break that. But this piece right here will actually come apart. That's where the zap glue comes in, and then you'll have to put it back together and use zap glue right in here, here, and here, and then back over here. Same thing right there. So then once that comes apart, go ahead and put this back together with zap glue and let that glue back together. Let that sit for a while. I used a battery to go underneath the hatch. The matter of fact, the battery to hold it all together, the battery that comes with the tank, you go underneath here, and that'll hold this tray up right there, and that'll keep it pressed together as it dries. So once it dries, then you can go on to the next project, which is your door. Okay, the door, once you get the door open, this is where it gets a little tricky with your Dremel tool. This is where it gets a little hard, but anyone can do this. You take your wheel, this cutoff wheel, you'll have to cut it along here, right along there, really straight, really straight. If you got shaky hands, you might want to think twice about doing this. Really straight, and be careful not to get anything back here. If you got a little bit of skills, you could actually get that cut really straight. Just take your time. Just go right along here until you actually get it through. Then this piece will come off. So once you get that, there'll be a little bit of cleanup to do. Right in here, as you can see, there's a little cut off right here. Once you get that, put that little hatch back on, line it up with your pins. Remember those pins right there. Keep those, so don't take your knife and cut that right there. That pin will come in handy later. So then that's where your tape comes in. That's where your hinge comes in right here. Is then you just take your tape, come around down on this gap here, make sure all this is flat. Take your tape, then fold it over and bring it up to like right here. And after you do that, go ahead and press it down. And then after you press it down, you can actually make your cuts and make it and clean it up. After you clean it up, then you can do your paints. Paint your tape there, match up with the tank. And then the only thing you have left to do is this little tiny screw right there. What I did is I drilled a hole. I would believe it's like a 1/16 hole. Just be careful, and then put a really tiny screw right there, and that's what's going to hold your rubber band together. Now I thought about running rubber band right here and then go here, and that would actually look really good. And just take your paint and paint it up. Then you'll look like you got some rope coming down, tied down, and that'll look really scale, I think. But all in all, you can go that route and try to find a rubber band, but probably you'll have to glue, because I wouldn't do any more, make these holes any bigger. They're too close to the edge there, so you'll end up probably making them come out from the corners there. Like I said, I'd probably just use that, what I got here. It's pretty simple, and just put that back on, and there's your hatch. I think it looks pretty neat. And then you just put your tanks back on. Whoop. Of course I dropped that. There you go. So if you like this video, have any questions, let me know. I'll answer them as thoroughly as possible. Give me a like on this video and give you some ideas in case you want to do it, and look for more videos on actual debating on the hatches that are on here. Maybe I'm going to make some doors and make some cargo doors for these, but it'll probably be different. I'm going to probably use, I would probably say, there's plenty of room on the inside to make these doors, so there's plenty of room. What I thought I looked on eBay, they had some cargo, military cargo crates. They're okay, but the problem is the only place you're able to put them is probably like right here or down here, because they'll actually get in the way of your turret, and you won't have that clearance right here. But other than that, look for that video, because eventually, more than likely, I will probably get these doors opened up and have more storage for whatever you want to put in there, some more BBs or anything like that. So thanks again, have a good day.